Well, guys, even though we actually won the election in 2024, the mainstream media still hasn't learned their lesson. They're still trying to hold water for the Democratic Party. Of course, MSNBC, CNN, they are propaganda networks for the Democratic Party. Now, I find it funny, guys, that all of a sudden now when Trump is implementing his tariff strategy, and by the way, most of those tariffs never went into place. It was a negotiating tactic. But now all of a sudden, the media is concerned about inflation. And these people that work for these propaganda networks, they don't understand economics. Tariffs are not inflationary. Even before Trump, tariffs still existed. But they push propaganda for the Democrats and want you to think that tariffs are inflationary. But when the Biden administration was printing money like crazy, they were telling you, oh, it's just transitory. They lied to you. Anybody that actually understands basic economics knows that inflation is caused by government spending. The government really does create inflation. And the Biden administration, boy, remember his so-called Inflation Reduction Act, which was actually the Inflation Production Act? It didn't do nothing to calm inflation. It made it worse because the government was printing money. And guess what? You suffered for it. And we know which party was in control. It was the Democratic Party under Joe Biden in his name only, but it was Democrats. They lied to you. And guess what? The American people in November outright rejected the Democrats' economic plan. Now, President Trump has been in office, and guess what? Egg prices drop, even though Democrats are lying saying that it hasn't. It has. Egg prices are way down. And I find it kind of funny now, too, guys, that Democrat politicians all of a sudden now care about inflation. They didn't care about it when Joe Biden was in office. They didn't care about it. They think you're stupid. But guess what? The American people are not stupid. Now, we must react to this clip from CNN because they are stunned that people are still rejecting the Democratic Party on the economy. The mainstream media has tried everything to make people think that Trump's economy is causing inflation to go up. But it's been just the opposite, guys. Egg prices dropped under Trump. Inflation dropped under Trump. Is everything great? No, everything's not completely great. Remember, Biden did a lot of damage in 4 years. Check back in another year, and we'll see how the Trump economy is doing. But already, guys, it's a massive improvement in a matter of months. So let's go ahead and get into this clip over here on CNN. So right over here on the Daily Caller, man, Harry Ensign is going to drop a bombshell on CNN. And even he's stunned that Americans still are with the GOP on the economy. It's because Americans aren't stupid. People live under 4 years of high inflation, bad economy under Joe Biden, and people are already starting to feel the effects of the Trump economy, which is already light years better. And trust me, folks, I believe it's going to get a lot better. But let's go ahead, guys, and watch this clip. Here we go.
More Democrats are winning a clear majority of Americans right now when it comes to the economy. So what to do about that and what is inside these numbers and what can be learned from it? CNN's Harry Ensign is looking into that. When it comes to what the message really is, I mean, which party's faring any better?
Yeah, you would think after all of the waves, Kate Baldwin, after the last few months, the first 5 months of the Donald Trump presidency, right, the first 4 months of the Donald Trump presidency, that you expect that Democrats would have this massive lead on the economy. It ain't so. It ain't so. The party that is closest to your economic views, in November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error, plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy?
Yeah, when it came to the stock market, if you actually look at the stock market, just for one day, that is just one snapshot. And then guess what? It rebounded like the next day. That is the stock market right there. When you invest in the stock market, guess what? There's risk. But you have to play the long game. Okay?
Are you kidding me?
This is This is new CNN polling.
Yes.
How is that, when we look for trends, how is that trending with other data that you're pulling in?
Yeah, if it was just this one CNN poll, that would be one thing. But take a look at Reuters Ipsos. What do we see here? Party with a better economic plan. Well, in May of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected president, Republicans had a 9-point advantage. Look at where we are now in May of 2025. The advantage actually went up by 3 points. Now Republicans have a 12-point advantage when it comes to the party with a better economic plan. And again, this is after months of supposed economic uncertainty in which the stock market's been going bonkers, in which the tariff wars that Americans are against have been going on. And yet, despite all of that, the Democrats are down by 12 points on the economy. This speaks to Democratic problems on the economy better than basically anything that you could possibly look at. The Republicans still hold an advantage on the all-important key issue of the day, and that is the reason why, even if Donald Trump's approval ratings are a little bit lower than they used to be, Republicans are not out of the ballgame because they still have a clear advantage on the economy, whether you look at CNN's polls or whether you look at the Ipsos poll right here, in which they have a 12-point advantage on the economy, Kate.
And also in the CNN data, it does show that Republicans are gaining ground in an area that is key relating to all of this, which is when it comes to the middle class.
Yeah. Historically speaking, which is the party of the middle class has been a huge advantage for Democrats. I have polling from NBC going all the way back since 1989 when Democrats had a 23-point advantage. 2016, a 17-point advantage. But by this decade, we already started seeing declines back in 2022 where you saw that Democrats led, but only by 4 points, well within the margin of error. And now in our latest CNN poll among registered voters, which is the party of the middle class, it is tied. This, I think, speaks to Democratic ills more than anything else. They have traditionally been the party of the middle class. No more. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have taken that mantle away, and now a key advantage for Democrats historically has gone adios amigos, and now there is no party that is the party of the middle class. Republicans have completely closed the gap, Kate.
All right. There's a lot of messages and a lot to be learned from these numbers and this data. It's good to see you, Harry.
Nice
Thank
to
you
see you,
so
Kate.
much. Still.
Yeah. CNN, they found out. They found out right there. And I believe there was actually an extended clip that I saw where Democrats lead on some issues. But guess what? They're issues that don't matter, like climate change. Let's just be real, guys. Who's actually going out there and voting on climate change? Nobody. Nobody is. Abortion access. Who's actually going out there and voting on that at a federal level? Because it doesn't matter at a federal level. It's at a state level. But Democrats, man, they're in big trouble, man. They are in big, big trouble. Trump has definitely made the Republican Party the party of the middle class. Did you guys see those numbers? In 1989, it was plus 23 Democrats. And then in the Trump era, 2016, that's right before. Probably that poll could have been right after he was elected. It was plus 17. There was plus 4. And now it's tied. The Democratic Party is the party of billionaires. Billionaires, because remember, who suffered the most under inflation? The middle and lower class, courtesy of Democrats. Yeah, boy, President Trump, man, he is the best president of my lifetime. And I never seen a media be against one president more than they actually been against Trump. And it's not working. It is backfired, folks. Backfired. But That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.